Hello. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most fascinating planets in our solar system, Mars. Mars sparks the curiosity of scientists and explorers around the world, because it's one of the closest planets to Earth, and also a strong candidate for future human exploration missions. Known as the Red Planet, Mars has this color due to iron oxide, or rust, covering its surface. Let's dive into its characteristics and the mysteries that make Mars such a special place. Let's start with the basics of Mars. Mars is the fourth planet from the Sun, and it's about half the size of Earth. It has a diameter of about 6,800 kilometers, compared to Earth's 12,742 kilometers. Mars is much lighter than Earth, with only about 10% of Earth's mass. Because of this, its gravity is only about 38% of Earth's gravity. The average temperature on Mars is much colder than on Earth, with an average of about -60 degrees Celsius. Now, you might be wondering why Mars is so red. The planet gets its reddish hue from iron oxide, or rust, that coats its surface. This gives the planet its iconic color and has earned it the nickname, the Red Planet. It's fascinating how this mineral gives Mars its unique appearance, and contributes to the planet's mysterious allure. Now let's explore the unique structure and geography of Mars. The surface of Mars is dominated by vast desert plains and rocky terrains, very different from anything we have on Earth. Instead of forests or oceans, Mars is a dry and arid planet with landscapes shaped by extinct volcanoes, huge canyons, and large sand deserts. Among these formations, we find some of the most impressive geographic structures in the solar system. One example is Olympus Mons, which is the largest volcano ever recorded on a planet. It's about 25 kilometers high, almost 3 times the height of Mount Everest. And with a diameter of 600 kilometers, Olympus Mons is a true marvel of Martian geology. Another impressive feature is Valles Marineris, one of the largest canyons in the solar system. This gigantic canyon stretches about 4,000 kilometers in length, which would be approximately the distance between the northern and southern tips of Brazil. In some areas, Valles Marineris reaches depths of up to 7 kilometers, making our Grand Canyon look small by comparison. And in the polar regions, we find Mars's ice caps, made up of frozen carbon dioxide, with layers of water ice underneath. These polar caps grow and shrink with the seasons on Mars, creating an incredible phenomenon to observe. All this geological diversity makes Mars a planet full of fascinating landscapes and also full of mysteries that scientists are still uncovering. Now let's understand a bit more about the atmosphere of Mars. Unlike Earth, Mars's atmosphere is extremely thin and composed almost entirely of carbon dioxide, with only traces of oxygen and nitrogen. This means that Mars's atmosphere doesn't offer the same conditions we have here for breathing, and is also much less dense, making it harder to retain heat. Another remarkable phenomenon is the dust storms. Mars is known for these gigantic storms that can last for weeks and cover the entire planet. These storms raise so much dust that they block sunlight, creating an even darker and colder landscape. Speaking of protection, Mars also doesn't have a strong magnetic field like Earth. Without this field, which on Earth protects us from space radiation, Mars is much more exposed to solar winds. This lack of protection, combined with such a thin atmosphere, makes the possibility of life on the surface even harder, as the planet is constantly bombarded by cosmic and solar radiation. All this atmospheric hostility makes Mars a challenging environment for future missions and possibly for human colonization in the future. Let's now talk about the climate and seasons on Mars. Mars has 4 seasons, just like Earth, because its axis is also tilted in relation to its orbital plane. However, these seasons are longer, since a Martian year is almost twice as long as an Earth year. Temperatures on Mars can vary greatly, from around 20 degrees Celsius during the day, near the equator, to minus 125 degrees Celsius in the polar regions at night. This extreme climate makes the planet quite inhospitable, but also fascinating for scientists who study the conditions on Mars and the possibilities for future human missions. Mars has been one of the primary targets for exploration in the solar system. Since the first probes, like Mariner 4 in 1965, to more recent missions, such as NASA's Perseverance rover, which landed in 2021, the planet has been studied to unlock its secrets. The rover's Curiosity and Perseverance play a crucial role, as they are equipped with high-tech instruments to analyze the soil and atmosphere of Mars. They search for evidence that Mars may have harbored life at some point in the past, investigating signs of ancient water and habitable conditions. Another major milestone was the arrival of China's first probe, Tianwen-1, which also deployed a rover on the Martian surface. And in the future, NASA and other space agencies are planning missions to bring samples of Martian soil back to Earth, which will further advance our understanding of the planet. Mars is undoubtedly one of the major focuses of current space exploration, and could be the destination for the first manned missions in the future. And what does the future hold for Mars? The red planet is the leading candidate for future human colonization. Private companies like SpaceX, led by Elon Musk, are already developing technologies to send humans to Mars. The idea is to establish a permanent base, which could serve as the starting point for a self-sustaining colony. But there are major challenges to overcome, from radiation exposure and extreme cold, to the issue of how to produce air, water, and food on the planet. To tackle these challenges, scientists and engineers are exploring ways to harness Mars's local resources, such as extracting water from underground ice and generating oxygen from carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. This kind of innovation will be crucial to make a long-term mission on Mars feasible and safe. Although we are still in the early stages, the idea of colonizing Mars is becoming more of a reality, and many experts believe we may see the first humans setting foot on Mars within the next few decades. To wrap up, let's look at some interesting facts about Mars. Mars has 2 small moons, called Phobos and Deimos. They are much smaller than our moon and have irregular shapes, resembling large asteroids. Another fun fact is that on Mars, a day lasts almost the same as a day on Earth, about 24 hours and 39 minutes. However, a Martian year is much longer, lasting approximately 687 Earth days, which makes each season almost twice as long as what we're used to. Mars is undoubtedly a planet full of unique characteristics, and inspires us to keep learning more about the universe around us. Did you enjoy the content? Then don't wait. Subscribe to the channel now and turn on notifications, so you won't miss out on the next adventures through our fascinating solar system. In upcoming videos, we'll explore more planets and mysteries of the cosmos. Stay tuned and get ready for an intergalactic journey with us.